We begin with the State of the Union address last night, full of outbursts, cheers, and boos. President Biden repeated several misleading claims, and that's being generous, including some about job creation, deficit reduction, and inflation. The president glossed over the China spy flight controversy, of course he did, and he sounded pretty tone deaf on the fentanyl crisis, seeming to forget that his open border policies have fueled the problem. And although he pushed for bipartisanship, he went after Republicans and accused the party of trying to cut Social Security and Medicare, sparking boos and heckling in what may be the most ruckus State of the Union speech in history. Here are some of the highlights.
We're going to need oil for at least another decade, and that's going to exceed and beyond that. We're going to need it. Some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. 25% of the entire national debt that took over 200 years to accumulate was added by just one administration alone, the last one. They're the facts. Check it out. Check it out. Fentanyl is killing more than 70,000 Americans a year. Big, you got it.
I mean, look, Emily, it's hard to know where to start, but I'm going to start with a direct quote from President Biden. We're going to need oil for at least another decade. Come on, Sherlock. We all know that. And it's going to be more than a decade, perhaps perpetuity.
I think there were a lot of small victories in there that were unintended by the president, that's for sure. Look, I think the bottom line, we all understand that it was riddled with inaccuracies, false statements, false promises, and false pats on the back. I think blatantly Americans see through his entire speech, including the ad-libs, which I note, by the way, there's a difference between the official published record on the whitehouse.gov website and what he actually said, which included a few, for example, additions like when he spoke about fentanyl, adding on the border. I note as well that the vice president didn't move her face afterward in a show of support by any means, because apparently border security, I guess, is limited to bipartisanship. The Wall Street Journal had an excellent editorial today that really nailed it in terms of the president's falsities here and in terms of why that matters so much. They pointed out that all of his legislative victories that he touts, they don't have the benefits that he promised. Americans still see crime-riddled states. They see that the Inflation Reduction Act actually didn't help inflation. They see that the jobs that he created were actually just restored on the ones that were lost because of a pandemic and more, including his overregulation. And I want to point out one thing, that we all talk about this unifier in chief as he's promised, but he is so much more divisive than any other president we've had in history. And as the editorial board points out, this may rally Democrats, but it turns off a majority. And that is why the majority of Americans feel so disheartened, because not only do they see that their pocketbooks don't go as far as they used to, that they dip into savings, that they're wresting control away from their children to the states, and so much more, what they're seeing too is a president that intentionally divides the United States, and all that does is prop up a tiny minority of his party, and they're the ones that are applauding, but the rest of Americans see through his sham.
They do. He said he wanted to work with Republicans. Sounded a lot different last Friday, as we showed you yesterday. But Jason, you've sat in that room, you've sat in the House chambers, and Republicans are getting some criticism for being boisterous at times. I would argue, though, on the claim of Social Security and Medicare, that was a cause for being boisterous, because it was an outright lie from President Biden. We just heard it. Let's put up the Washington Post fact checker. His name's Glenn Kessler. He woke up from his nap and fact-checked a Democrat. He fact-checked Joe Biden and found 4 Pinocchios for his claim. It's my view, Republicans needed to be boisterous to get the point across that it's an abject lie from the president.
And it's not the first time Republicans have heard that. The Democrats continue to repeat that over and over, and it's not true. To say that Republicans are suggesting that it be sunsetted, no, they're not. They're saying you got to fix it. You got to make some adjustments if you want it to continue on. That is a far different scenario. I thought the speech overall, I think it's forgettable. There were no new big ideas that were out there other than, hey, let's go tackle all those non-competes that for people that are flipping burgers, and let's get after those, fees that are out there for, junk fees at hotels that really aren't resorts. Other than that, what was the big idea? What was the big idea on how to fix inflation or the border or our energy crisis or take on China? He didn't have anything. He forgot to talk about the issues and things that like inflation, that people are actually really dealing.
I think you're so right. But Molly, there's this kind of odd dichotomy where, Clinton had a rough midterm. Obama had a rough midterm, lost 63 seats. So they felt the need for big, bold new ideas. But there's this odd dichotomy in the polling showing people worse off under Joe Biden, not liking what he's doing. But he had a fairly good midterm election. So I think he feels just invincible at this point.
Right. You had the reality that heading into the midterm, the vast majority of Americans did say that they were unhappy with Democrat leadership and policies. But when it came to actual results in the elections, because of how we run elections in many cases, it didn't result in this like humongous Republican victory. But Republicans did take the House. I was actually really happy to see how raucous it got. It seemed like there was some energy in there that had been noticeably lacking for a few years. But, I think we also have to acknowledge, we just have to sort of point out really quickly that was a very difficult speech to listen to. He was not performing well. It was kind of embarrassing and uncomfortable. He forgot names. He couldn't say the names on the teleprompter. He wasn't remembering what the situation was in the Senate with how many seats Democrats had. And, it was just difficult. He was also speeding through the speech. So it was kind of hard to keep track of what he said. But it was interesting that it was kind of this play for the next election, and he was pretending like he actually did have sort of a conservative populist agenda. He was taking credit for things that Donald Trump had signed,
yes.
like the junk
Made in
fees
America.
that were mentioned.
Right.
He sounded like an America First MAGA type Republican sometimes when he was like totally at odds with what his actual policy has been: destroying energy independence, opening up the border. And he was sounding differently. But that kind of matters because that's what people will hear. And that is a very politically popular viewpoint, and Republicans should pay attention to that.
And he has said more than once, America is strong because our people are strong, and that's a direct quote from President Donald J. Trump. So there's that. Tammy, to the point of it being uncomfortable, we have a montage of that. Sorry to bring discomfort for you all around lunchtime, but here we go.
Before I came to office, the story was about how the People's Republic of China was increasing its power and America was failing in the world. Not anymore.
Well, that is the China thought, but the point of that is we just saw a China balloon traverse the United States. We have some images of that we'll put up. So China was increasing in power under Trump, but now all of a sudden they've waned, although we just shot down a Chinese spy balloon after completing the mission.
Yeah, we all saw many different faces there. They looked either exhausted or confused or perplexed or surprised in not a good way. But imagine, because it wasn't just in the House, that's what Americans were looking like who were watching that speech, is that there's a point where people were watching the speech. This is supposed to be the State of the Union. All right, eggs cost $8. Gas is still high. It's not great that the increase has slowed down for inflation, right? Americans are sitting waiting for answers, believing that maybe they could get some answers. And instead they got this fantasy world where, no, we're not stronger. Last summer, the British intelligence and American intelligence had a joint press conference at State Department saying, China, this is urgent. This is crazy. It's urgent, dangerous, crazy. And the next thing we know, despite that, knowing that for so long, Americans watched this balloon traverse the entire continental United States. We know what's happened here. We don't feel safer. We know war is expanding. Putin is still running around doing his thing. China's getting excited. North Korea's getting excited. Iran's helping. And so Americans know. We know what a daily experience, and when it comes to national security. And what they saw was completely disconnected from reality. So those faces are a reflection also of the look on the faces of Americans.
Exactly, and a direct quote from our president, I enjoy conversion. I'm not sure what he meant by that.
Yeah,
that was another singer there.
I really do think, looking back on this, it's the least patriotic speech I'd ever heard from a president. He didn't recognize our troops. He didn't thank the troops. Everybody would have stood up. He didn't talk about first responders and everything that they went through and all they did. The Border Patrol, all they heard was, we need comprehensive immigration reform. What about the 20,000+ Border Patrol? It was the least patriotic thing I've seen.
Let's take a moment and contrast that quickly to the response. Excellent response from Sarah Huckabee Sanders, full of patriotism, faith, positivity, and toughness and grit. Let's take a watch.
I'll be the first to admit, President Biden and I don't have a lot in common. I'm for freedom, he's for government control. At 40, I'm the youngest governor in the country. And at 80, he's the oldest president in American history. I'm the first woman to lead my state. and he's the first man to surrender his presidency to a woke mob.
A+++, phenomenal. Blew it out of the water, Emily.
Absolutely. I found her speech so effective. It had everything that Biden's did not. It had that patriotism. It was riveting. That story she told about visiting the troops the day after Christmas with President Trump and the First Lady was so emotional. It was so moving. It was beautiful. It was one of the most effective speeches I've heard, especially in terms of rebuttal. And it had that cohesive theme that carried on organization that, again, the presidents lacked. She made up for in spades what President Biden lacked, which was honesty, truth, vision, commitment, policy, everything, and that patriotism, that love for America. I note, however, that the mainstream media, MSNBC in particular, as they put it up, had a chyron that said GOP response paints bleak portrait of the U.S. So,
False. As we said yesterday, it was Joe Biden's job to paint a picture that is positive, tell stories to the American people that are grounded in the truth of what he's done in office. He failed at that, but Sarah Sanders, boy, did she succeed.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.